and professional trainer John Scully. And John at 253.5, the heaviest of Lennox Lewis's career. There has been so much talk heading into this fight of Lennox Lewis looking past his opponent Hasim Rahman, who was installed as a 20-to-1 underdog. And most point to the fact of the Hollywood lifestyle that Lewis has been living for the past month. He's been out filming in Vegas, a feature film that's going to be coming out titled Ocean's 11, rather than being in training camp, and most importantly, traveling half a world away here to South Africa to prepare himself for Rahman.
Well, it's obviously not a good thing. You know, I mean, it may work for him against this particular guy, but it's not the way you want to do things. And I know from experience that when you go overseas like that, you know, it takes time to adjust. It's not something that you can just wake up the next day and you feel good. It definitely takes a time period where you have to adjust to everything over there.
You would know well. You went over to Germany and fought for a portion of the light heavyweight title. And now Hasim Rahman, feeling that he has the advantage of being acclimated to the surroundings here in South Africa. You can see him trying to utilize the jab early to the body, the big target of Lennox Lewis.
Now, you would think, considering the circumstances with Lennox making the movie and not getting over there in time, I would think that Hasim's trainers are probably telling him, keep up a good pace and get Lennox into the later rounds. They're probably hoping to win the last 4 or 5.
Hasim Rahman, he has had a real heartbreak road to this point. Oleg Muskayev and David Tua both came up with come-from-behind knockout victories against him. In the case of the fight with Tua, Rahman was hit with a devastating punch after the bell and couldn't recover and was TKO'd in the next round. In the case of Muskayev, he was ahead on the scorecards in Atlantic City and then knocked through the ropes out of the ring. That was 2 years ago in '99.
And that's what's amazing about this kind of fight. Hasim is known, probably best known for those 2 fights.
3-0 since being KO'd by Oleg. Rahman was confident coming into this fight, saying that he could out-jab Lennox Lewis. So far in this first round, at least he is committed to the cause.
I would think that's a huge key. With anybody that fights Lennox, you've got to do something to offset his jab. That's the conventional wisdom, is jab with the jabber. And, you know, to be a heavyweight on the end of those type of punches that Lennox can let go, you've got to get your jab working. You've got to slow him down somehow.
Lennox Lewis was able to have his jab work to perfection last November when he easily outpointed the much shorter power-punching David Tua. And now he comes here for a title defense in South Africa against Hasim Rahman. End of 1. Joe Tessitore alongside John Scully. You see that replay there from the first round where Rahman unable to land the right hand. Not exactly the most inspired first round that you would expect for a 20-to-1 underdog fighting for the heavyweight title, John.
Pretty quiet round. You'd have to assume they'll give it to Lennox because he's the champion, but it's one of those rounds where, you know, it's hard to give it to either guy.
A few days ago, some of the boxing experts in South Africa started worrying about Lennox's conditioning. When he first arrived here after filming the movie Ocean's 11, he was fully clothed and he stepped on a scale and checked in at 268 pounds. Now, at the weigh-in the day before the fight, 253.5. But boy, that 268 must have opened some eyes.
Right. I mean, the thing about a lot of these guys, though, the bigger guys, I've been to weigh-ins where they may go to one weigh-in and wear shorts. Then the next weigh-in, they have work boots and a coat on. So 7 or 8 pounds one way or the other, you know, might not mean anything. But I mean, I have to say, looking at Lennox up close, his body he doesn't look fat. He doesn't look like a lot of the heavyweights in the 80s that were really heavy-looking guys, you know.
Oh, the glory days of pre-Tyson, of Tony Tubbs and
Greg Page.
And fires off the uppercut as Rock came forward. Of course, you probably have noticed Hasim Rahman, the right side of his face. Well-documented story that he was involved in a horrific car accident where he received over 500 stitches. Now, you may think that plays a big factor in terms of the potential for cuts in a fight, but that has not been the case in The Rock's pro career.
Lennox definitely has to get his jab. Lennox, any fight he's in, he's got to get his jab going. That's his key. Without his jab, he's not the same fighter. So it's this fight is like any other fight. He's got to get that jab going. Hasim, has that type of style where Lennox could definitely control him from the outside if he could get it going.
Tries to drive home a right hand. There were many boxing experts who tried to connect the dots leading up to this fight and saying, oh, this could be like Tokyo in 1990 with James Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson, a huge upset because Tyson was distracted and now Lennox Lewis is distracted filming the movie. But so far, you're not seeing the fire in the belly in The Rock the way you saw with Buster Douglas.
Right, it's two different situations. Like, it's irrelevant in my opinion. They're just maybe trying to do that to get the people interested in the fight. But I don't think that's going to really make a big difference.
And Lennox Lewis, a little more focused, a little more composed than a 1990 version of Mike Tyson. No doubt about that. Coming to the end of the second round. Not exactly exchanging pleasantries, were they? John Scully, if you're working the corner of Hasim Rahman, what are you telling him right now?
I would say you have to get some bounce in your step. You have to show the demeanor of trying to win the heavyweight championship of the world. You need to pick up your pace. He's fighting like a guy. It's almost like he's sparring with Lennox Lewis in the gym somewhere, and he doesn't have that like after the round he had the attitude of jawing back and forth with it, but you have to do that when you're actually throwing the punches.
Beautiful, baby, beautiful. Start doing this on him, you know what I mean? When you get around, when you're inside, work inside, he's only hit with the right hand. Jab, put a straight right hand through the stomach.
They want to see more work on the inside. What did you see here in the second round, John?
Well, actually, I really like what Lennox just did there. That's a very good textbook move where he slipped the jab and countered with an uppercut.
Heavyweight title on the line. Lennox Lewis opening up this third round with a left hook combination. Back to the jab. You brought up a great point about wanting that bounce in the step, wanting that fire in the belly during the round. Not before the fight, not between rounds. The Rock needs to go out and earn that respect and put something forth during these 3-minute segments. More work from the jab of Lennox.
I mean, when you're the underdog, you're the underdog. Like, everybody expects Lennox to win. They're going to lean towards him in the close round. So you've got to step your game up. You've got to say, this is for the championship of the world that Joe Louis and Jack Dempsey and Muhammad Ali had. You've got to go for it. And,
instead of just falling in line and playing the role that you've been cast to play, which is a 20-to-1 underdog who's got no chance.
Right. You've got to fight like your life depends. I mean, this is a big man. Hasim Rahman, Lennox Lewis's chin doesn't know that Hasim Rahman is a big underdog.
You're exactly right. Much the way it was the case with Oliver McCall back in 1994 when he tested those whiskers of Lennox Lewis and found out that a lottery ticket can be cashed in by doing that.
Right. Yeah, I'd like to see Hasim, just pick up his level of intensity. Show the judges that I'm here to win. I really want to win this title. And that can mean a lot. Judges are human. If they see a guy that, even if he's maybe not winning the round convincingly, but he's showing, hey, I want to win. I'm desperate to win.
By all accounts and reports, it was Hasim Rahman who at least dedicated himself in the 2 months leading up to this title fight. The stories of Lennox Lewis in Vegas filming Ocean's 11 well circulated. The reports of the dedication of Rahman, not as highly publicized, but by all accounts, he had a tremendous training camp and is primed to at least acquit himself well. Lewis tries with the left. Rahman willing to exchange that time.
when Lennox pumps that jab, he's got a wicked, awesome, hard jab. And when you watch it on TV or you're sitting ringside, it may not look like that big of a deal. But when you're in there and a guy's poleaxing you with a jab like that, that hurts.
He has used it time and time again. Now his 15th heavyweight title fight. He hasn't lost since '94. Rahman coming forward, goes to the body, gets out with a jab.
See, now there's no way Hasim should wait. He should jump on Lennox right now. You've got to take advantage of every chance you get to show that you want to win.
Lewis and Rahman through 3 rounds. Hasim Rahman from Baltimore, Maryland, trying to bring the heavyweight title back to the United States. The big Brit, though, in complete control here as Lennox Lewis opens up this 4th round with a right hand.
And there goes Lennox with his jab. Lennox is dictating it right now. There's 2, that's 3. There's 3 good jabs.
You can see Lewis getting a little more confident. Now, that's a good sign by Rock, at least willing to come forward and throw out power shots at the champ and mix it up a bit.
See, now he looks like he's open. I mean, I learned one thing from a trainer years ago. He said the most basic thing: you can't win if you don't throw punches. You've got to dig down.
Daniel Vandevelde, our referee, taking a timeout to ask Lennox Lewis if he was okay as The Rock punched on the break. He handed out a warning. You can see Rock now complaining as Lennox Lewis hit him in the back of the head, but the ref does nothing about that. Left hand uppercut from Lennox, and he's got those hands real low. You knew he didn't respect Rock coming into this fight. He flat out said, hey, if I was fighting a Klitschko brother or Tyson, I wouldn't have filmed Ocean's 11. But now the body language is also starting to say that.
And, you know, it's like, the thing is, you start to feel fatigue, and things you said weeks before the fight when you weren't even around your opponent. But when you're in there and he's hitting you, all of a sudden reality sets in and you start saying, man, I should have ran a little bit more. I should have done this. I should have done that. The truths and the lies always come out on fight night. Well, no matter what you say weeks before the fight, this is where it happens.
Final minute of this 4th round. There's a good right hand over the top of the jab of Lennox Lewis, and The Rock scores well.
I like The Rock's jab. I think he could have as effective jab as Lennox does. But he, I think he's probably a little tense here, and he's starting to see that he can hit Lennox, and he's going to open up a little bit more. I'd like to see him with the jab more because he's probably got a pretty good connect percentage with it so far.
Back to the jab for Rock.
Now Lennox better get his hands up.
Hands down around his waist, and that's what I'm talking about, the body language and some of the lack of respect. Exactly.
He's not the type of guy that could do that and have those type of laser quick reflexes, you know?
He may find out the hard way. Coming to the end of the 4th round, South Africa, Lewis and Rahman.
Here, you want over there? No, I understand that. Somebody tell us we have them. Okay, down it. In and out. Big ones, in and out.
Action from round number 4, John.
Well, Lennox lands some good punches. Rock's taking him well so far, and he's finally starting to fight with some urgency, which you're expecting to see when you're going for the world title.
Hasim Rahman in that 4th round placed that right hand, which, as you can see, Lennox was able to roll off to his right side against. So now it's round number 5, heavyweight title on the line. Hasim Rahman complaining after that 4th round of Lennox Lewis utilizing his head as another weapon.
I think that would be hard to do, though. I mean, I would think Rock's probably got just as much to do with the use of the head as Lennox, being as Lennox would like to be far away, and he's already tall.
Lennox tried to place the right hand again. Back to the jab.
He really does have a beautiful jab, and now he's got Rock backing up. Rock can't win backing up like that.
Not at all. Needs to assert himself.
Come on, Lennox, step back.
20-1 underdog. Joe Tessitore alongside John Scully.
See Hasim's posture now. Now you see he's keeping himself in the corner. He's walking back. He's walking with his hands down. I don't know if that's fatigue or see now he's not engaging at all. He must be a little bit tired.
He's just got to make a decision to do something here.
Right.
To just go after it.
It looks like he's hitting a wall.
Yeah, if he lets round after round go by, it's obvious where this fight is headed.
See now he can't just walk back to the ropes. Now you see the way he's turning, and you know, I don't know if he hit the wall or whatever, but Lennox should take advantage of that with the jab.
Or do that.
That was a good shot.
Fire off a right hand. Maybe it'll be a little boost of confidence now for Hasim Rahman after he scores well with the right hand after a lethargic first half of this 5th round. Lennox now, boy, not much defense out of Lennox. Hands down near the waist, just walking forward. Rock will be well served to fire the right hand again.
Yeah, Lennox definitely has a good jab. It looks like he's starting to feel confidence. Fighters sense other things in fighter. He might sense that Rock's getting a little tired or weakened, and maybe he's trying to establish his dominance physically.
I think Lennox almost getting the sense that Rock is not much of a threat.
Right, but he should keep his hands up a little better than that.
He chases him back with a series of jabs. Look at how casual Lennox is.
He's got a good jab, though.
Oh my!
Unbelievable shot.
Casual just turned into catastrophe. Is he going to beat the count?
That's it.
That is it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
He bounced off the ropes and got blasted right into it.
McCall did it to him in '94. Now 7 years later, an even bigger, more unexpected toppling of Lennox Lewis and John Scully. I don't think Lewis even realizes what took place looking at his face.
No, he looks like in shock. He's probably wondering why everybody's in the ring running around.
Meanwhile, Hasim Rahman is the new heavyweight champion of the world, a 20-1 underdog from Baltimore.
And you see what happens? He's going to bounce right off the road right into it. So that adds pounds and pounds of pressure. Like the worst thing he could have done was keep himself standing up so high, bouncing off the ropes.
John, was this just a case of the perfect right hand? How did this happen?
Well, I'll say one thing. There's no such thing in my eyes as a lucky punch. I mean, look at that. He turned into that shot. He didn't just close his eyes and let it go. He landed a beautiful, wicked shot. And Lennox, I mean, I don't know why he's got his hands so low. That's obviously proved to be a huge mistake.
Tyson made mistakes in Tokyo in 1990. Lennox, now 11 years later, makes a huge mistake in South Africa, and boxing once again has a heavyweight title shocker. Hasim Rahman, the title is headed back to the USA. He just painted Lennox Lewis's face red, white, and blue.